Hello guys, I'm Futureal. I stream 5 days a week over on twitch.tv/Futureal, and in this Project Diablo 2 Season 6 beta video we are going to test out the Paladin. There's a reintroduction of an oldie but goldie in here that might be a really strong build in this season of Project Diablo 2. Also, don't forget to read the description underneath. There are shortcuts to the rest of the classes for the endgame builds and also the early game build video compilation that I made. If you do enjoy this video, leave me with a like and subscribe, and don't forget to comment down below what you think about this video and this project. Until next time, take care, and I will see you soon. Okay, time for the Paladin, guys. First Paladin build is the Hammerdin, as it did reasonably well on the early game. Or it did more than reasonably well, actually. So we decided to test the Hammerdin in the late game as well. Now keep in mind that this gear is not optimized because we don't have corruptions. We have tested Doom, we have tested Pride while using Sanctuary as our main aura, and we have also tested Asylum. And for hardcore, I am firmly believing that using Doom is the better option. The DPS output difference is negligible. But the extra benefit of having a much higher damage mercenary and also having Holy Freeze is very, very good. The character is using CTA. It's just with a Lidless, couldn't be bothered to make another Herald. We have Plague, Shaco, Crafted Amulet, Enigma, Herald, Waterwalks, Wisp, SOJ, Trangloves, and Arachnids. And we're using magic damage, large charms with life. We did test against Skillers, and this is a little bit more damage. Torch, Annie, and Geeds, of course. Alright, let's get into this Ancestral here. The damage is pretty good, but you do have an issue with the sustain. So we kind of need we kind of need life and mana after kill here. Oh, hang on. Do we need to? I think we need to chug a. Chamrune here. So we have Canopy Frozen. Use Phoenix Shield? Why would I use Phoenix Shield? What's the benefit of that? Hey Lork, what up? So I'm gonna lose all my survivability and all my plus skills and my block chance and my all res because I can't click redemption? What? Life is not fair, you need sacrifice. Yeah, I'm considering sacrificing you right now. But what can you do? Life is not fair. You need sacrifices. But okay, from the damage output point of view here, we're doing pretty well. The only thing we can't really emulate is the fact that we're lacking mana per kill and life per kill. That is something that you must include yourself when you try to build this character to get yourself sustained, because you do take a little bit of damage all the time. but that's not something we can do on the beta servers with the gear we have available right now. Yeah, the Hammerdin is making a re-entrance into the game, guys. I'm not gonna go as far as to say that I think it's better than Fist of Heavens, because I think it's riskier. I think it is lower DPS than Fist of Heavens. So particularly for hardcore, I think you still definitely want to be playing Fist of Heavens. But you can absolutely play this for those Hammerdin aficionados out there that really love the Hammerdin. You can absolutely play Hammerdin in PD2 now. It is a solid build, even though I am leaning towards the Fist of Heavens personally. That's pretty much as much we need to show from the Hammerdin. So let's test out in the next build. Second Paladin build of this guide video. We are testing the traditional Zealot, and this is a pretty janky build, but it's something that we threw again together on stream, and we're trying to have a little bit of fun here. So this is absolutely not the ideal gear, I think, but it's still something that is going to be working just fine. So we're using a Act 5 mercenary for the might, and then we have the beast for fanaticism on him. We are playing Exile, so we have Decrepify to proc Decrep for both extra damage and for safety. And we're using Tyrials, Crown of Ages, High Lords, F Death Cleaver, BK, Ring, String, Wisp, War Traps, and we have Soul Drainers. We have them off right now to not have that drain life. And then Max and Life Charms across the board. Torch, Annie, and Geeds. We obviously also have Call to Arms on swap. The build is Max, Zeal, and Sacrifice. 1 Joust. 1 Holy Shield. We are playing Concentration because the Mercenary has Fanaticism. 10 points in each of the resistances for the max 5%. 1 in Salvation if you come across Conviction mobs, and then we dump the rest of the points in Holy Shield. We also have here, as you can see, we have max block. We have 42% damage reduction. You can get to 50 if you toss in 2 Burroons instead of ED max here. Our attack speed is 90%, so that we counter some of the effects of negative maps. We are going to test the new Tier 3 Sewers of Harrogath map. That's going to be Tier 3 in the next season, and we have fortified it to see how this works. Never tried it before. So it's going to be interesting to see how we can do in this fortified map. So let's just go and see what we get. Damage seems to be pretty good here. Dealing with these fortified units quite well. Density isn't that high in this map though. The fortified helps with that. Heroic just gives it plus 20% density and 10% magic find. So we got to alternate between jousting and charging, depending on how far we are gonna go. There is also a valid option to, instead of dumping your points in Holy Shield like we did, you can invest a little bit more dexterity in your build and then rather dump the points in Joust to have a little bit of shorter cooldown on the Joust spell. That could be pretty good, instead of the extra defensive stats from Holy Shield. Oh, we actually did forget to spawn the Hard Wolverine. Let's not do that. then we also need to buff that. Here we are. Give that +1 skill. So our damage, as you can see, we have a 16k max damage, so about 5k to 16k. So solid damage. And this character is dealing with fortified maps really well here. And also, we have a solid leech. We have 50% first reduction, almost 50% damage reduction. How's our boss damage? Boss damage looks solid. Looks really, really solid. So yeah, that was the traditional Zealot. Don't really feel like I need to test that anymore. It is a build on the expensive side, and it also is a build that is a little janky. It's counterintuitive to play concentration instead of fanaticism, but doing it this way allows us to have might aura in addition to fanaticism and not just have the 9% DR from the Act 2 mercenary with Pride mercenary, and then we play fanaticism ourselves. Using Exile instead of Herald of Zakrum gives us that 8% damage reduction instead of 9. So we lose 1% DR from not having an Act 2 mercenary, but we gain Might Aura. And then we also have a decrep / amplified damage, depending on which you prefer. I like decrep on hardcore. So this is a very, very interesting build. It works very well. If you like, the build is kind of expensive. It's not like super crazy. I think the hardest item to get here will be probably the 3-socketed Tyraels and the 4-socketed Death Cleaver. But you can use a 2-socketed Tyraels. Because this doesn't have a corruption, right? We're not playing corruptions right now. So even if you have like a mediocrely corrupted Tyraels with 1 or 2 sockets, this is gonna be a great build. You can drop this down to a 13% DR Koa to save some currency as well. You don't have to get a 15. So I don't know, like Beast, like the mercenary gear isn't expensive at all. The Cham rune should be CBF here. Let's say the mercenary is about 15 high runes. Your character 1, let's say 10, 12. So 13, 14, 15, 25. I think with 40 to 50 high runes. I think with 40 to 50 high runes you can have this build, which is not that crazy in Project Diablo 2. In Lord of Destruction, obviously, or in Resurrected, 40-50 high runes is monstrously expensive. But in PD2, 40-50 high runes should be doable for someone who plays, I would say, 4 to 6 hours every day for the first 3-4 weeks. So very, very interesting build. As I said, might not be the correct or the most optimal setup, but it's really, really fun, and you gain that extra aura with the Might Aura. So we're going to jump over to the next build. It's going to be Vengeance, and that's going to be the last Paladin build. Third and last Paladin build, guys, and it is time to test the Vengeance Paladin. The majority of the people in the chat wanted to see that. So let me show you how I have built this. This is probably not the conventional way of building a Vengeance Paladin, but that's okay. So we're using Doom. We have Levy, Vamp, Gaze, String, and Gorse. Nothing is corrupted, of course, because we are on the beta servers. We have Call to Arms and Lidless. So we have Herald, Famine, Crown of Ages, High Lords, Corpsemorn, Drax, Wisp, String, SOJ, and Waterwalks. And we have Elemental damage with Life in the inventory, and Torch, Annie, and Geed. So we're running some Fire, some Lightning, some Cold. And it's the same here, some cold facets, some fire facets, and some lightning facets. Pretty cool build. We have played around a little bit with it. We're running max block, of course, when I turn that on. So when we have battle orders, that's going to be 75%. 150 strength because of H strength on this. I wasn't able to strength bug this for some reason, so we're doing that. And then we have about what was it, like 2400 life with battle orders. That seems about right. The build is as follows: max vengeance, 1 joust, 1 holy shield, max conviction, 1 in salvation, and then we dump in holy fire, holy freeze, and holy shock. So let's just jump into this. This is a fortified tier 3 sort of Harrogath map, 230% density. Oh, this even has souls. That's going to be interesting. Even has souls on this map. I didn't even realize that when we started, but that's fine. So the damage here is pretty good, guys. It's a very, very cool build. Almost have no problems with any type of immunity because you're doing damage with 3 different schools of magic. So whatever you come across that is immune, you can deal with. And with a reasonable cooldown on Joust, you alternate between jousting and charging when you're going from one pack to the next. And I think out of the small limited amount of experience that I have with fortified maps, I think fortifying maps with this character is a very good thing to do, because he does lack in mobility, of course. So you wanna make sure that you have good loot return for the time that you spend. So fortified maps is probably a very good idea. So it's a fortified tier 3. Basically one-shots, one to 2 shot everything. It really doesn't have any immunities to worry about whatsoever. And we also have the added safety of having Holy Freeze on our Mercenary, which is very, very handy. So, because we don't have corruptions, we don't have any mana per kill on this character right now. But I would suggest that if you do choose to play this character in the upcoming season, make sure that you do have some mana per kill somewhere in your gear. So damage is going pretty well here. I was gonna try to show you how this works against the boss. I can't remember how far it is to the boss area. So I'm gonna be back in a couple of seconds, guys, with the boss kill. Okay, so we have arrived at the little boss area here. Let me try to show you guys how the boss damage looks on this character, if we can lure him out. He should be here somewhere. There he is. So the boss damage is pretty good. I think it was a little bit higher on the physical damage dealer that we had in the previous character test, but this is just fine. But yeah, as mentioned in the chat here by Vap, it feels very, very similar to play as the traditional Zealot that we played in the previous test. Maybe in areas that have high density, so maybe like cows. If you want to do cows with this build, I think this build will do better, because it feels like Vengeance has a bigger area of effect than Zeal does. But you probably should be doing fortified maps with these characters anyway because of the reduced mobility that you have. So it's all up to you. The traditional Zealer and the Vengeance play very, very similarly. Joust, you use Conviction instead of Concentration like we did. And the effect is pretty much the same. Pretty much the same. So that's going to be the last of the Paladin builds for this guide video. And we are going to pick the next class, and we're going to be back in a few seconds with that.